everybody. Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. We've got
Boo
and Jim and a sad-looking asshole production crew.
Yeah.
And we've got what are we on?
Episode 24.
Jesus, episode 24. I remember when it was just a little baby guy, and now we're at episode 24.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible.
When's our next gimmick episode, though?
I don't know. Have we figured out what we're going to do?
Yeah.
I think, didn't you say it was like going to be next month?
Yeah. Yeah, but I meant like as far as funny haha
I think
age.
what we should do is like shoot up heroin or something.
Good Lord.
I thought we were going to do an episode around like me getting surgery done.
Oh, well, that was a sphincter surgery. That we'll probably lose listeners with that one.
Yeah, talent grafting.
Well, I guess we could just clean house and start all over again. Then.
True, we need to wipe the slate clean and come up with some new ideas.
Yeah, the video uploads to YouTube will just be crayons from the kids. And it's like stick figure.
It'll probably take 6 days, too.
Stop motion, probably.
They'll probably take less time and look better.
You nailed the last one.
That's true.
That's because I hired an actual production company.
Was
to do it.
Ashley helped out?
Yeah.
I'm glad that's coming out of his pocket and not ours.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, I
whoever
didn't
he
say
saw-
how I fucking paid for it.
Oh, that must be how the tooth got broke.
Yeah, we subcontracted out
Yeah.
the talent.
So we got episode 24, and this is post-chocopocalyptic.
Yeah.
Because that was some rough shit.
We all survived.
Yeah. But prior to getting to that, I got to tell you something, Pooh.
Okay.
You can find us on iTunes.
Oh, my. Really?
Yeah.
How
did
are we
you
doing?
know? Did you know that our podcast is available on iTunes?
I was aware.
Yeah.
Being a dedicated contributor. What about Spotify? We can get. We're on Spotify, right?
Oh yeah, Spotify. We've actually got, which is kind of nice to see. Our Spotify numbers are up.
You can see his spirit leaving his body for every vendor that we roll out. It's
Also,
like
Google Play. Can you believe that?
Oh
like the three of the big ones, like we got them right there.
I got one.
Also,
I got a comment for you. I got a comment.
No comments from the assholes.
I got a comment. You know how you sometimes don't get to all the content?
Yeah.
Think about how much time you're spending right now. When people already know.
Also, YouTube.
Huh.
he's got a really good point though. But I'm not.
Part of the reason why this takes so long is just to make him feel dumb.
Because he's like the cat, just like
Yeah.
This is like nails on a chalkboard to me. If people are finding podcasts,
If you
they know where
just
to go.
found us,
Yeah.
you can get previous episodes
But they know
at
where to get us
saddadsclub.net
'cause
or
they
all of those other
fucking
places.
Already
Yeah.
found
Yeah.
us.
You can also, if you get lost, we have it pinned on our Twitter feed.
Yeah.
You can start there as
Hey,
well.
wait. Where do I find Twitter?
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook.
Twitter.
Also, we really like to see emails too.
Yeah.
We have to admit it. saddadsclubpodcast@gmail.com. And
I think our quickest turnaround for feedback and conversation is definitely Twitter, though.
yeah, and Twitter's kind of fun. I don't know what it is about Twitter. It can be fun.
Well, it's stable because Facebook and Instagram were down most of today.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark had a
Yeah.
lot to do with it.
Yeah, he did.
Thanks, Zach.
Like Tim Apple.
Yeah.
Like Tim Apple has a lot to do with how your iPhone behaves.
Mark Facebook.
Mark Facebook and Tim Apple. They got together and had a baby, and it was called, I don't even know, something funny.
I think it broke because of the video.
It's
that
going to
Mark
be interesting to
posted
see those.
as a robot. He was talking about like meat.
Is he? What?
Did you guys see the Mark Zuckerberg Facebook post where he's talking about meat?
No.
No.
Oh God! It was
Yes, I did. He likes to grill.
Mosquito on your
He's like-
hand.
if you kill the animal, it's so much better.
Oh.
Something like that.
Was it his barbecue?
Yeah.
It was some weird.
He
rant.
was like a smoking thing.
Yeah, he was doing a barbecue thing. I think he likes to grill with his friends or
Yeah.
something. That dude has a compound that is huge on Kauai
Oh, really?
that I believe
Nailed it.
he is he's auctioning off, but he pissed a bunch of people off in Kauai with this like lava rock wall he built around the compound.
Oh.
Huge. The property's ginormous. I mean, it has like waterfalls on it and shit.
I was going to say, because...
He bought several properties and kind of pieced them together.
Did he?
And some of the property is like native Hawaiian.
I was going to say, because at
stuffs.
this point in time, Kauai is only so big. So
Yeah.
for something to not already be owned would be weird to me.
He had to buy all the chunks and kind of combine them.
No. And now he's
And
selling.
he spent a lot of. I mean, to him, To him, it was nothing. But it was each piece was like $150 million here.
That's not shocking.
No,
Because they aren't making any new land on Kauai. It's done.
oh, they're not.
No. All the volcanoes are gone.
No, there's one left. It's on Hawaii though,
Yeah.
right? The Big Island.
I saw a study the other day about how much net new mass had been added after that eruption.
Is the eruption done now?
The one
That's been going on
that
for
wrecked
a while.
all those people, yeah.
Oh, how much new property? How much new?
I can't remember, but,
real estate did they?
but it was a good chunk of mass.
Yeah. Well, think about that. In order for it to create a bunch of new property, it's got to destroy a bunch of property.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah.
I mean, you couldn't build on any of that stuff. Plus, it's a park anyway.
Well, yeah. Yes. That's
Right.
true. Yeah.
Right?
Bumped it.
Hey, can you knock that shit off?
Yes.
So Choco-Challenge, the tail end.
Yeah, the back
So
end.
you had no fallout.
We were talking about this, and people always talk about, oh, your asshole's gonna burn. You're gonna feel it on the way out. And I always joke around about, oh, haha, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never had that effect ever. So I guess that's a thing for people, for real.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of hot on the next day, on my next vacating. I definitely struggled later on with having not eaten.
Oh.
I could literally feel like the hot mass like sliding down my stomach lining.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
as it progressed.
Yeah.
And then did 20, 30 minutes after we had done and packed up shop and I'd gone in to then get something to eat, and a glass of water, and it like sloshed the hot mess, and like I can't eat now either because now I'm
Gross.
like agitating the hot ball
Now,
that's rolling around.
I did have that feeling of a massive discomfort. Is
Yeah.
what I would
It
describe
was
as.
like a heartburn, indigestion.
But yeah, but you could feel it moving around in your
Yeah,
gut.
it was weird.
But I
had
didn't
straight up
have like,
heartburn for a while.
huh?
I had straight up heartburn for a while.
I didn't have any heartburn. And, well, I did take 2 antacids, 2 Tums. Chewed them up right before bedtime because I figured if it's going to happen, it's going to be while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Mm.
And so I did that, and I don't know if that helped or not because I did it. It may have done nothing.
Yeah. It's been, and it's, if I'd laid in bed and watched news and flipped through stuff on my phone for quite a bit, and I was fine. The moment I would get up and like agitate the mass,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I haven't touched that side of your stomach lining yet. How about I put a little singe over here?
Agitate the mass. That's funny.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
And then the next day when I made my morning poo, it was a little hot, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm dying. But it was hot. Then it was over by the time I had done and flushed, washed hands, and out of the. But it was. You knew that I had eaten something hot the night
You
before.
had something really special.
I think I speak for Jason and I both when I ask this question to you, Jim. Is your asshole made of fucking titanium? How do you not?
Well, if you've been burning in over time, you've got like.
Well,
Onyx.
I just like to smear stuff on it
Yeah.
just to see what it's like. And
Sometimes I just sit on the top of the bottle
So
of
you-
Mad Dog.
You just nipped it in the bud, basically.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. I just, sriracha. Oh, gosh, that feels nice.
Well, there was nothing else to drink, so, you just...
The sriracha is like a boudet because it's got the squirt top on it.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
A bidet.
yeah, whatever that fucking thing is called. That's what it is.
Well, them fancy toilets that spray the water up my coonies.
It seems like if you're spraying sriracha, that would be more healthy than water because it's torching shit.
Cauterizing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you
exactly.
branded it.
Yeah. No, but I've never had. I always laughed about haha, funny on the way out. It's gonna be burning, ha.
Right.
But I've never had that.
It was nothing big.
I just always figured people joked about it.
Yeah. There was much more of a, and I'm not scared. The number of people that asked post show, like, so how was it?
Yeah.
It was interesting to be able to speak from, like, so this is what worked. The whole milk thing for me, like, didn't necessarily do, and I'd read that, right? So the milk, it's like it may work, but it's not because it's doing like the whole pH balance thing for me. It wasn't it. It was the water was doing just as much of a function of rinsing and diluting the heat and getting it out as the milk. But for me, the milk started like the lactose, started to make it gummy, and the water was just easier to just pound. I wasn't gonna feel like. So the whole, it would be interesting to do again, which I'm not. I would do it again if we could get someone else in here that was like wanted to like
Try it.
give it a go.
Yeah.
I would do it again, and I would try something like the pineapple. I wouldn't lick the bottom of the damn bar, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Just to watch the train wreck.
It was.
It was quite amusing.
It was hot, but it definitely didn't affect me as bad as I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So
I
there's.
thought you guys were gonna have to cancel the rest of the show. To be honest, I thought you guys were gonna be like, "This is fucking bullshit."
Well, we've
outta
seen
here."
some stuff where people eat it and there's nothing happens after they eat that stuff. Like they have a thing, they're sitting there like videotaping, and there's like 3 people and they all eat it, and then it's like one people drops out of the frame and you never see him again, and and so I thought, oh man, that stuff's hot.
I don't think I've seen one where someone had to like, okay, cut.
Well, they didn't cut. They just left it rolling, and it was like I don't know where he went in the backyard or something.
The couple that I've seen, I saw one where a 10-ish-year-old young man and his dad did it, and that poor boy, he stuck it out, but it's like I would not do that.
You'd have to stick it out. You don't have much.
Is that something someone should call CPS for?
Daddy made me eat the chocolate on camera.
Oh, jeez. Well, if you're 10 years old, I mean, I feel bad for a kid that's only 10.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I don't know.
That's a tough ask for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I would not do that to the kids.
I mean, I'm a sad dad, so I've got a lifetime of eating hot food.
Yeah.
And I kind of know what I'm getting into. He's 10.
Is Piper old enough to do the challenge?
And I don't know if she's been studying for midterm. She hasn't seen it.
Okay.
I told her it was hot.
I mean, would you be like?
If she wanted to try it, I would not give her I would give her probably a nibble smaller than yours, and I'd be like, get ready because it will hurt.
I could do a whole one,
and it will be hot. And if you need to leave and go get put it back out, but even then and I would tell her to eat and get ready. But I would give her the choice. Xander, I would not. He's not. He's too
little,
too tender.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wouldn't give Piper the whole bar. That's for sure.
And I mean, I also think too, if you're into eating hot food, that's one thing. As a kid,
right?
Some kids, they don't want to touch it. I would say most kids don't want to touch it. But if they're into it and they really show interest in it, then I might consider letting them. But
yeah, And that's not to say we haven't done like the warheads, really sour warheads.
Right.
I love
We
those.
gave those to Xander when he was car seat
Yeah.
because he can spit that out and that's over in 10 seconds or less.
Well, I think the chocolate is a thing where it's like it gives you the potential for chucking cookies. And,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's you can't escape
Yeah.
it either. That's
No.
15 minutes ish of
brutality.
there's no back out.
No.
There's no fail safe.
Nope.
Anyway.
Nope. Cool. Well, I'm glad we all kind of made it unscathed. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of fun to see how hot that was, and definitely the hottest thing.
If we have anyone friends local that wanted to try it again, like I said, I would do it again. But you're gonna have to pony up and say you do it on the show. Oh, look at these two guys. Did he spit it out?
This guy's, I think he's just spitting out like
Spit?
saliva, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
But in the beginning, it showed him leaning over to yak. So I mean, we'll find out.
pansies.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, he's throwing up.
yeah. This
Oh,
guy's
yeah. That's. I don't know. I never felt like I was going to have to throw up. I just had the unsettly sort of.
Yeah.
I got a hot blob in my tummy,
And I'll be honest, I'm also curious to see what would happen if
There it is.
I had eaten.
it would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could.
I mean, it wouldn't have stopped anything with the heat
no.
in my mouth, which was okay. But once it got to my belly, it was
Uncomfort.
It was
Discomfort.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like the devil's coming out of this fucking guy. I'm gonna have to put this shit in the podcast so you guys can see.
All right. Make a note of it. Oh, yikes. Oh, gosh. That's.
That guy's having a hard time.
He's not happy.
Don't eat hot stuff, sir.
That's gonna need to be a viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit the next thing here. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh my God! I
Bing.
soaked in the sun like a Kryptonian.
Was there sun out?
Yes.
Sun's out, guns out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Wait, was this the time change weekend?
Yes.
Too? Oh,
yes.
gosh.
And so, well, okay. So let me back up weekend. So we saw Captain Marvel Friday, really, really late.
Yeah.
Good superhero movie. Good origin story. Hello, Jax. Good movie. We're no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. And then Saturday we went out to meet Angie and talk about TT stuff, Monk Cellar, and we had a drink over at West House. They have have you had some of the drinks over there at Monk Cellar, like their custom in-house ones?
No.
Those are really good.
I
haven't.
had a bad habit. So it's a highball glass. You know, what's in it? So it's a specialty drink. So it's like a mixologist kind of thing.
Sure.
Uh,
It's like their own.
right. It's like their twist on an old fashioned. God, it's a really good. You know, it's not something you're going to get blasted drunk with.
Sure.
It's a good whiskey drink. It was just a good. You sipped it with. I had steak, which I wasn't necessarily impressed with because it said
What was the name of the drink again?
Bad Habit.
Bad Habit.
Yeah.
Have you had their beers?
No,
Their
because
beers
not
are
a beer
really
beer
good.
guy.
Oh, that's right.
Next time I'll probably, if it's
Their
CJ or
beers are
Mike ends
okay.
up over there one time, we'll get them to like have us do it because they do beer flights. Someone over a table across from us was doing beer flights.
Sure.
So
Why they brew their own stuff? I believe.
yeah, they have stuff in house and do a bunch of local brews. And then Sunday, car. I washed the car. Got a lot of sunshine in. The daylight hit me like I was not concerned in the slightest about losing the hour. It was like when I got up, it was like all of a sudden the clock was righted. It was, and then when we got till 4-ish, and there was still light outside, I was like, I can keep going. Like I weeded more. I did
It's
tons
weird
of more
that
stuff.
Instant like evening.
Yeah,
Daylight.
And curious to me because this was one of the. It's been a while since a a spring daylight savings where I wasn't burdened by the hour loss. Usually the work has been, and I really enjoy that, but to then take away another hour of sleep, it stings on Monday, Tuesday.
I was going to say Monday was a little bit rough.
But for whatever reason on this one, I woke up Sunday and Monday like a Kryptonian. Like, there's more sun. I'm ready to go. Just
with all the other listeners out there in podcast land, fuck you, Foo. Because I was like at work on Monday, just like, oh, come on.
And it's funny that how much an hour takes away. So do you find it more valuable to have light at the end of the day?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
But it's just the time change.
But losing
difference.
an hour is once you get over it. So are you?
I'm okay now.
Have you baked? Okay, there you go.
Are you guys aware? Are we still gonna? That law passed, but I heard they couldn't.
So they're still working on I think it has to be approved federally.
Okay.
So
I heard that
there's a tie-in.
They just did away with it because they couldn't decide on if they wanted to go.
But we voted on it. They have to do something.
Yeah.
Like high-speed rail. Where's that? I want to see that.
It still requires the federal approval.
Oh, okay.
And then also Sunday, we went to, Venus and I went for more TT planning stuff. We met Mike and Angie downtown at Temple Coffee.
Yeah.
So when I got sick 2 weeks back, you ever get sick or something and like all of a sudden your taste buds change?
Yeah.
Once you come out of it, like things are different. So that week after I had recovered from being sick, so I've swapped out from like my caramel macchiatos at Starbucks to just black coffee. So I've streamlined just to black coffee.
Remove all the sugar and the creams.
Yeah. So Venus had got me a couple cups, and they were all really bitter. Like, I can't finish this cup of coffee, and I would just end up making
the Temple coffee?
No,
or
this was Starbucks. Because, it's local and normal.
Starbucks is supposed to be bitter.
I was getting
coffee.
like the blonde, the roasts that I was getting were ones that normally I could just hit and I was fine with. So this was like a net new oddity to me. It was like, normally this is what I get. This is my Starbucks drink. Their cup of
like Americano,
blonde roast or just their breakfast blend.
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
So black coffee.
So because I wasn't, I'm like, don't stop. It's too bitter. I'm not finishing these cups of coffee.
Yeah. We
ended up cracking open a bag of beans that Angie and Mike got us for Christmas. That was like a temple blend.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. Like, not a hipster guy, kind of like, I'm not into the micro coffee house type of thing.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
But their roast was it was some of the best coffee I had in probably months. And the description and the taste profile that it had on the bag,
you were like, yeah,
I'm like, nailed it. Like the nutty whatever that was on it. I'm like, it was light, it tasted amazing, and it tasted like it said it would on the bag.
I think that's kind of like the difference between, like, say, Temple and a bigger, obviously, company being Starbucks.
Yeah.
Is that Starbucks tends to over roast their beans because they have to have a consistency between thousands of stores, right?
Yeah.
So they tend to over roast their beans to get the similar flavor at all the stores, so that they're consistent. Whereas Temple Coffee, which is a very small coffee house, they don't have to do that. Well, they can make the batch.
Well, I should get another bag, and I'll know. So I ended up having another cup of whatever their black was.
Yeah.
I think it was the same blend that Mike and Angie got me, and it was a really good cup of coffee
at Temple.
Yeah, at Temple. We were sitting out there, and you could smell them roasting in the back, their big old whatever they've got in the back because they roast there locally. It smelt different than like when I'd been up in Seattle at like a
And they're
like,
roasting.
and they're roasting
They're
their
burning their coffee beans.
fuck, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It smelled great, and it was a great cup of coffee. I'm not hot on the pricing, but I'll pay for a really good cup of coffee. And they had it. Damn. That they'll get my dollar from Forward. If they had one up here, I'd be more of a consumer of their product, but unfortunately, I'll have to just buy their bags.
Yeah, I wish they had one up here in the Roseville area.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to, you don't have to drive downtown or go to Carmichael or Sacramento. There's one near Loman's Plaza. Off of Fair Oaks.
I don't remember which one we were on. The K Street one with the roaster. Angie would know. #HighDragon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my weekend. What you got?
Well, the daughter came home from Fullerton for a rough weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We had
rough for her.
So she came home Thursday, and just a rough weekend for all of us. With Chandler Data's, also known as the Asshole Production Crew, was at home with his roommates and his girlfriend, and I don't know who else was there, but he ended up getting a tooth knocked out and broken off at the base of the tooth.
Ugh.
And very bloody, and went to the ER, and then got up early Saturday.
Was he at your house?
No, he was at home.
He was at your house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
no fault of his own, just an accident kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if I sound stupid as shit, that's why.
So just just a crappy accident, got a tooth broken off, and ended up Saturday morning going to visit our dentist with a emergency visit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the tooth can't be saved, so they have to do like 3D printed replacement kind of thing with a titanium post to fix it. And so
I have a fucking metal in my grill.
Nice.
No one's gonna know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was kind of a rough weekend for that stuff. And then, what else did we have? I had a random thought, actually.
Okay, go.
And it happened this morning. I was thinking about this when I was getting ready for work. I would like to see, you know how in racing games you race on a track and then
yes,
and then you go back around and there's a ghost car and that's your previous run or your best run,
right?
Or whatever.
Your best time trying to beat.
I want to have a ghost self when I get up in the morning to see where I am if I'm running behind, because I kind of do the same thing every morning. I have a very, very much routined in my morning. I would love to have a ghost self. Like, am I backing out too early? Am I backing out on time? Am I behind my ghost self? What's my best day getting to work? And that was
your
one.
time. Yeah.
I want to see that in real life.
Did you have an off day where you're like, I wonder where I lost time?
Not today, but it's happened. Well, sometimes when you're standing in the shower and you're kind of like a little tired, and you look up and go, "Oh crap,
I gotta get going."
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I was standing in here that long, kind of thing. But I just kind of thought that would be funny to see that.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because Piper, she got essentially I think what Xander got, which was the heavier version of whatever I had through the weekend, and she trucked it out Monday. She went to school, but I was like, maybe it was Tuesday. She did her routine, got up, and she ended up going back to bed to where Venus had to, like, when Venus got up, like, you got to get up. She was fully dressed, ready to go, but she had gone back to bed for like half an hour to 20 minutes ish.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, what's that tell you about your schedule in the morning? You've got
a lot of
You've
leeway.
got 20 minutes of fat that you could just, if you want that sleep, just set your alarm
15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it came out that she enjoys lazy Like she just kind of like
Get up and get ready and
yeah, she likes to go at a very slow pace that affords her, time to lose.
Sure.
Whereas Venus is much more like, when I get up, I want to get up and I get my stuff and I get the kind of dodge.
That's how I am.
Because if you give me time to get
I'll
back,
get back in bed.
I'll get back in bed.
Yeah.
So Venus rides up to the line, and Piper opts to get up early so that she can just sloth it.
Yeah, I mean, I get up, I get in the shower, I get dressed, do all the things like deodorant, toothbrush, do my hair, or put stuff in my hair, and then fill the pockets with the things I need for the day.
Yeah.
Grab a sweatshirt, go get my hydro flask and fill it up, and then I'm gone. I mean, it's the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's wrenches thrown in there, like if the dog has done something, or if you have to take a God forbid you should have to take a shit after you shower. Oh God, that just pisses me off, especially when it's like getting ready in the morning time, because in my opinion, if you have to take a shit within 15 minutes of getting out of the shower, you might as well get in the shower. You know what I mean? Just get back in there, scrub the ass, and get out. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Anyway,
you basically soiled yourself from the get go.
Yeah. You've destroyed your cleanness.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Right?
got to reset.
Yeah. Reset the cleanness.
The cleanest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my thought.
It'd
The
be
whole
interesting
ghost,
to see. Yeah.
the ghost self.
You'd probably have to set up cameras everywhere, and it probably wouldn't work well if you had family.
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want no.
Yeah,
No,
Shane
that's
sleepwalking in front of her 8-foot mirror.
Well, see, Shanna will get up before me, and she'll get up and shower and then get back in bed.
Oh yeah,
And that's part of the hair.
Yeah.
The hair thing. Right?
Yes.
And so she'll get back in bed, and then my alarm goes off, and she's in bed sleeping. She's already showered, but she's sleeping.
Mm.
And then I just get ready and leave. So, yeah.
Mm.
But I thought that would be an interesting thing if you could do that
It'd
in
be
real
cool to
life.
see.
Yeah. Do that for lots of different things, like a quick run to the whatever. I know I've done this before, and it only took me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And to be able to see if you could beat yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. So we actually have. So speaking of, now that we're done with that, we actually have this week news items, things that are newsworthy that we found that we wanted to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Kind of, though, I see that
They're all the same. I just put multiple
okay.
They're all just different references
Yeah.
for the same topic in
This
case
is-
you wanted to find.
Yeah, this is basically one topic that we found really interesting and something that kind of made us upset.
Yeah.
And probably, I would hope a lot of other people would be upset about this as well.
A lot of parents. At least
Yeah.
it's something to,
Yeah.
talk about.
So the topic there is this, the federal indictments of the 50 or so people over the college admissions, cheating scandal.
Yeah.
Which encompasses a lot of things, and especially as a parent with 2 college kids, I really feel for some of these kids that work their asses off,
Yeah.
and don't get into the schools they want to get into. So I have an example. My daughter's boyfriend, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to UC Irvine. That was not his first choice. But he applied. He was valedictorian at his school.
Mm-hmm.
Had a GPA that was 4.0 plus. I mean, it was beyond 4.0.
Right.
And he had a hard time getting into the schools that he wanted to go to. And I can't help but think that he was jobbed
Oh, yeah.
by one of these fuckers.
Yeah, and this is just the one that got caught,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is someone that's so stupid and got so overzealous that he got caught.
Well, there's multiple facets to this, right? Because you have parents that are paying people to take the kids' SATs and ACTs to get a better score. And then you have parents who are paying through the admissions funnel, and it's going into sports and the people who admit the kids.
Yeah.
And this funnel of money to make sure, and we're talking $25 million worth of money that they know about.
Yeah.
That was funneled through what they know about.
Right.
UCLA, USC,
some Ivy League stuff.
yeah,
back
some Ivy
east.
League stuff. So I mean, and we're talking stuff as for some parents as high as $500,000.
Yeah. I
mean, I feel really bad for the kids who someone like Ian, who's not
right,
super wealthy, middle class kid who has worked their ass off,
right,
who couldn't get into these schools. And why was it that he was not able to get into the school?
Yeah,
with the cred that he has,
right. And this goes to as well, because it came out in a number of articles. It was, well, this is the bad one, but the on your face, directly on the nose one is, but if you have enough money and you buy a building on campus,
that's the okay way to do
that's the cool one. Oh, it's just you're just sponsoring, and oh, by the way, I have a child that wants to go, and you're greasing the wheels that way.
Yeah.
People have been doing that for who knows how long, and that's just acceptable for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think this sheds light on something that really needs some attention, and
it'll be interesting to see, because that's the new social question, right? It's like,
yeah,
you get to position wherever you're at, political office, or on a board of a board of a large company, company or something,
corporate board.
It's like, well, where'd you get your degree? Oh, I went to so how, is there shenanigans there in any way? It just, God, it's so
well, the example, the one that really strikes me is what's her name, like McLaughlin or
Lori Loughlin.
And her daughter, who is sort of Instagram famous.
Yeah, she's a influencer.
Yeah, and she has a shit ton of followers. Not where at least she did. And she was doing ads and stuff.
Yeah.
For different companies, like as a college student. She didn't even want to go to school.
Right.
So here she is taking up a spot.
Right.
From someone who worked their butt to try and get there, and she is there and doesn't appreciate it, doesn't even want to be there.
Is using it as a business.
And is using it to make money by taking pictures in her dorm room and then tagging whatever companies that are part of the ad campaign.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, talk about piss me off.
And, I don't necessarily have a problem with whatever it is that she's doing as like a business model. It's like the influencers and all those people. It's like, that's not my bag yet, but to leverage education, knowingly deceiving admissions and gaming the system.
Now, whether or not she knew or not.
She did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
okay.
She took it in her transcript, one of the transcripts, she took photos because part of her way in was the rowing team.
Right.
So she took photos
of her rowing.
It's like, oh, I'd like to get in,
Yeah,
So that was her. That was her in. So she's not a fucking rower. She's an Instagram influencer.
Instagram, and I think she made some comment about I don't want to go to I'd rather not go to college. I'd rather make YouTube videos.
Right.
Yeah.
Her second day at school, she was doing Instagram posts from Fiji because she was something for work. It's like, you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
And that's,
Well, when your parents have shoveled that much money down the admissions pipeline to
Right.
get you into school and faked that you were a rowing team person, or
Right.
whatever you call that. What's the name of the
crew?
crew? That you are a crew member, which you weren't.
No. Sham.
yeah.
Soup to nuts, sham.
Oh, I just get there's something in me that gets fired up the more I think about it.
because there are people who are trying. You want to believe in like a meritocracy, that what you put in is going to get you a place that you deserve based off of the merits that you're putting out.
Yeah.
And what's sad is I think it's just the elephant in the room that we all know that if you have a certain income numeric, that whether it's taxes or admissions, clearly now, it's like, well, sometimes when you see this stuff online and you see like an Instagram person, it's like, I don't really want to be here. This isn't my thing. But I'm going to USC. It's like, okay, maybe it's maybe she's working communications or something. She's trying to leverage something. But when she like flat out tells you no, well, how did you get in?
My parents wanted me to go, is what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like there are people trying really hard to get that spot. You're just tissue blow it away.
Like the classic to me was one of the articles says one of the comments on her Instagram or something was that she had done an ad for the people that do the teeth thing.
Oh, the Invisaligns?
Or Invisalign or whatever, whatever the other one is.
Right, yeah.
And the comment from this person was, your teeth might be straight, but your family is crooked.
Oh,
gosh.
And she's got that coming.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And that's not just because of whatever she's caught in, but that's also like the new norm for these social media, influencer and content creators.
Thing is, that's one person out of 750 plus.
Right.
That's one kid.
Yeah.
And they were saying today that none of the colleges thus far have, and I'm sure it'll probably take a little bit of time for this to happen because colleges don't typically react very quickly if they do anything.
Right.
But none of the colleges had done anything with the students that had gotten in with this system.
Yeah.
They haven't expelled them or pulled them out of school or whatever.
Right.
But that's a lot of kids, 752 or something.
I am certainly curious, and the Lori Loughlin's girl specifically is
Actually had two girls. That
but the one that everyone likes is
the youngest.
easy punching bag.
Yeah.
I think she's like one of the outliers as far as knowledgeability of the issue and the scam in general. There were certainly, when I was looking through some of the transcripts of the indictments, there were certainly some where the parents were going out of their way to try and make sure that their kid just opened a letter,
you're in,
and got you're in Harvard or you're in Yale, and they went, I mean,
awesome. How
if you're not
being
told or asked to take pictures holding a lacrosse wand or whatever they're called, or a crew picture, or something like that, then you would think, because
would you be? Let me ask you this: would you be pissed at your parents if you found out in this way that they had paid to get you into school and you had nothing to do with the merits?
Absolutely.
I would be upset.
Absolutely.
I would be really upset.
And
number one, because it puts you in a situation where you might get kicked out of school.
Right. We haven't seen the repercussions
I didn't
yet.
do anything, but my parents did this to me, and now I'm going to pay for it too.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And at this point, they're all adults, so you get what you're going to get. It'll be interesting to see
plausible deniability.
Right.
Is that what,
right.
Is that what we're dealing with
know,
now?
and if someone, who's to say? I don't necessarily know. I mean, I think it would be too awkward to try and create an investigation. Well, who knows what they'll do, I guess. But one size fits all, I think. You just have to say, this is our school policy on this. You were part of the indictment. And what happens? Is it? And what if someone had graduated with a degree in the length of time that the case was opened?
Yeah.
Is the degree voided?
Valid or not?
Well, how's that work?
See, in my mind, I would love to just see that be nullified. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. You didn't get into school,
right,
with your own merit. Your parents, whether you knew or not, gamed the system.
Right.
Whether they paid money to get you into the admissions, or if they paid to have your SATs cheated on, or whatever whatever the thing was, you didn't get there on your own.
So if they had so the Loughlin girl probably doesn't count. But if you're someone that had your parents buy you into Stanford and you didn't know, you're, say, best case scenario, you're one of the kids that didn't know, you opened your letter and it said you got into Stanford. You've been there for 2 semesters.
Here's what I would say for this.
Okay. You've crushed, hold on. So you've crushed 2 semesters of credits.
Okay.
And you've passed them all.
Here's what I would say for this.
Okay.
Maybe you take your SATs.
Okay.
And maybe you get awarded half of the credits that you've.
I would. That would work for me.
I would be okay with that.
I would say,
first of all, prove that you can get in.
If it was an ACT or SAT transgression, I would say, all right, here's the test again. You have to get this score, what you got or faked, or better.
Yes.
Does the student know? Does the student
Some
know?
of them do,
we'll
and
say
some don't.
Some do and don't. And then if you can't, award them maybe half value of all the credits that they've passed in like some sort of what's the thing, the transcript that you take from another school.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I think if the student doesn't know for real, then go towards the parent for sure.
Well, I think you've got.
But the point is you're in this situation because of your parents. You didn't work to get there.
But you didn't ask to fuck people over.
Right, but you're asking to then create a case where you have to prove whether or not the kid knew. And I think that's probably going to be too much left shoulder. Too much that's probably going to be too much of a burden or care for the school. It'll be easier for them to write it off and say, you were part of the indictment, you're the student, you're the name, take the test.
Take the SAT over.
Get it, or you're done.
I think
you're gone. Here's half your credits. Bye. We don't want anything more to do.
It's kind of nice to have a student perspective here, but these are
albatross.
people who are cheating people like you out of spaces at decent colleges.
I think that if the student really didn't know, then definitely fine the parents. If not, do worse than that.
Well, the parents are likely going to prison, if not heavily fined.
But I feel like almost, though, is that not a bad enough repercussion for my standpoint, if my parent cheated the system and got me into college and now is going to prison, I feel like that's probably...
We're not saying prison for the student that
not
doesn't...
the student.
Not
no,
the student.
no. If I'm the student, though, and now I'm not going to have my parent around because they've screwed
Well,
with
that was their
the
own
system.
decision. They
Right.
decided...
That's
But
the...
I mean,
there's going to be repercussions.
Punishment, is that punishment enough for the student that was just doing their thing honestly, though?
But the student didn't get in
They
of
didn't
his own
earn it.
volition. I mean, he...
But if the student doesn't know that,
They shouldn't be there either way. It doesn't... Right?
I think they should be able to keep the credits. If they worked hard and passed everything, and they really didn't know, I mean, they're just doing what they're doing.
I think the credit should still be earned.
Yeah.
I would give you that, but the admission, the being able to stay, is probably a non-starter.
Yeah.
You didn't earn the spot unless
definitely
each
didn't
school
earn it.
is going to probably, depending on what line was crossed to get them in.
Yeah.
You know, because some of them were sports related.
Yep.
And some of them were scores related. So, you know, if you can't, some of the sports things I think are just probably you're done. But
Well, I think that's another weird thing too. The sports thing, the crew thing. Can you imagine being on a crew team and then you have this like
right. So I had made a
you have
note on
this
mine.
asshole here that's never even rode, but they claim that they have, and they suck. So they're bringing your entire team down.
Right. And you know, I didn't even know how that works. Like if you get a scholarship for crew or biking or whatever it is, and you don't actually participate, or you're expected to, and you're sandbagging,
Or you're a bench rider.
how does that? Yeah. How does that work relative to? Are you permanently injured reserve through your
I guess.
length of your college career? You know, what's that do to your team?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
or two. So that, like I said, the notes that I made. So some of these not epic sports teams that don't get weekend play on ESPN
Recognition.
right?
Yeah.
Are, you know, but yet if you're an athlete with immense skill in some of these things, say fencing or crew or cycling or lacrosse or highlight, something that doesn't make those, but you're actually talented and you didn't, I mean, just as much as academics, you don't get that full ride or that sports scholarship because, you know,
And you're the star of the team.
yeah, and someone takes that spot.
Yeah.
You know, these student athletes are just as much impacted as the academic ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so there's fallout all over,
Yeah.
just as much as like you're saying, Ian.
Yeah.
You know,
Academic.
academic all-star.
Yeah.
All-star doesn't get into some of the academic elite colleges that he
Stanford.
he
Right.
wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, that applies probably just as much to someone of these not quite as star-studded, you know, sports, but they're there too. Obviously, they're there and they're important enough for the college to offer scholarships to somebody.
Right.
And that's one less person who was hoping perhaps to get a really good academic education as well as perform well in a sports team that just doesn't make the headlines every day.
Right.
I feel for those people.
Absolutely.
That's terrible.
It is. It's awful.
Yeah.
I can't.
And then the punching bag thing too, with how some of these kids were getting the testing centers, the testing centers that were compromised, was to fake learning disabilities. Like, how many people do you know,
Nice.
or students that have dyslexia or have social anxiety in taking tests in pressure situations, have a problem for ADHD, whether or not you think that's a thing or not. But, you know, plenty of true learning disabilities that some of these parents and kids were leveraging and faking, taking advantage of students with legitimate concerns and disabilities,
Yep.
so that they can get in here. It reminds me a lot of the. Go ahead.
I think faking the disability is almost worse than paying your way in. For me, that's what would do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
not
something in here for everyone to be just absolutely just triggered on. So the mocking the disability reminds me of the Disneyland, the special needs stuff being allowed to get
Yes.
at front of the line if have
And
disabilities.
the abuse that's taken.
Right.
Yeah.
And the private businesses that started leveraging persons with disabilities and essentially selling them as a service for you to hire them at Disneyland so you could get fast-tracked to the
That
front of
is
the
just
line.
unbelievable.
So then, well, obviously, the other end of that sword is that Disneyland catches on and then says, well, we can't have, you can't have that.
Yeah.
You can't have people making a enterprise
A buck off of that.
out of people with disabilities,
That's
regardless if
Yeah.
do they really know? Who's to say?
Yeah.
So then you get the backlash is that now you're judging and you're putting constraints on people,
And scrutiny. And,
right, on people with legitimate disabilities. It's like, well, we tried to be the nice guy
prove
here.
that you're with them
Right.
somehow. I mean,
You know,
how do you do that?
You end up in like a weird, catch-22. It's like, I'm not going to make you certify that you have some disability. Then what kind of asshole am I for that?
And then
You don't want to be in
can't-
Disneyland does not want to be in that business.
No.
So then they have to pull the plug to some, I can't remember what they walked it down to. They still
don't
have
remember.
something.
They
but
still do.
They walked back like
Yeah.
a bunch of the, I don't want to say bonuses, but
mean,
some
what-
of the services allotted to people with disabilities.
Yeah, what happens if
Because-
you're disabled and you just go with a bunch of people? I mean, how do you prove that you're with that bunch of people, like, legitimately? I mean, that's... But
so
I
to
mean,
see
still,
these fucking douchebags,
Yeah.
God, man, what kind of black heart do you have to have?
It's all about getting ahead and having having your child ensured that they are going to go to an upper echelon school.
Yeah, a
And-
resume thing.
And at any cost.
Yeah.
At any cost. To the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And I would get when Piper would do this when she was younger. She would when she would hit like a block, like a story block or something, like a school assignment. She would be like, I don't know, I don't have any ideas on something. So I would find myself like, oh well, she's struggling. I'll give her some bones to like nibble on as far as like ideas.
Right.
And because you're concerned, you don't want to see her struggling. You don't want to see her like not complete the thing. So I give her like a couple niblets.
Yep.
Until what started happening was
She was relying on you.
she was getting smart enough to realize that she could say, and Xander's done it too, so it's not just a Piper thing. But it was she'd realized, Daddy, I'm stuck on the thing. Like I just don't know. And so I would say, well, you could say, and then like as I'm voicing it, she's like,
Oh.
dictating, like transcribing out on the side, and I went, okay, no.
Yeah.
I see what's going on here. I said, I'm not going to do your homework for you, and if you're struggling with an idea, I'm no longer going to give you ideas. I'll ask you questions that will hopefully lead you to ideas, but I see what's going on here. Daddy's smart too.
Busted.
I'm not going to give you your story for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was
So to see parents
Yeah.
doing this, like, oh, I'm just trying to help my kid get a leg up or get something else on the resume, or this will help them when I'm like, stop. What you're
At the cost of other people.
at the
too.
cost of other people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. To beat out other people, just to make sure that your kid doesn't even care if they're in college.
When I
they're gonna
went
go.
out of high school and like filled out number of colleges and whatnot, at the time I didn't know where I was going. I literally was one of the people that went and signed up for college entrances because I was under the impression was you burn in a couple of years and you figure out where you're going from the courses that you take. So
That's sort of backwards.
right.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this is the next step, right? You finish high school, then you go to college, and you build your career choices off of the courses that you take at college. So I submitted for a bunch of places. Most of them were state and local stuff, but I had no money. I had like a state or Pell Grant or whatever those were.
Uh-huh.
Got into Chico State, which I think they just took anybody at that point because, while I was smart, I wasn't valedictorian or salutatorian in my class or anything at that point. Bright, well on some of the scores. I don't remember what they were, but so I got in there, and it was like, why I'm paying tons of money, and I had no focus on school, no focus on the classes. I'm like, I'm going into debt here. Failed first semester, hung out the second semester with like garbage classes, and was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but now I have thousands upon thousands of dollars of debt.
Yeah.
I have to get a job.
Yeah.
And so I stopped going to school so that I could build a career paying off the I don't know plan that I had.
Yeah.
So it's just, but those are all my mistakes.
Sure.
To have parents funneling
I don't know students.
I don't knows, or some kids that do know and they can't earn it on their own at the cost of others. It's just like, you as parents, you make me
You're
just
a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you make me fucking sad.
You're a fucking steamy pile
Yeah.
of shit.
Man.
Seriously. Man, it just
I haven't had a long talk with Piper about it. But Xander this morning, I had one of the headlines of the things in her clip up, and it was like the federal indictment, college scam taking tests or something like that. He read it. He understood what the headline was, and he went, why would they do that? And I went, I don't know. And I patted him on the chest. I'm like, you better do well on your tests if you want to go to school, because I ain't faking it for you, and I don't have the money.
Well, Melanie, when she headed off to college, knew
her path.
She knew what she was doing. Myself, and I think Data's, like when I went off to college, I didn't really know. I kind of had an idea, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then after a couple years, because I didn't know what I wanted to do at first, I didn't really put any effort into going to a 4-year college.
Right.
It was kind of lost on me. So I did the JC route and ended up going to American River College in Sac City. Ended up three units away from my AA, which kicked myself now, but didn't finish. But I think there's certain paths for certain people, definitely.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, I don't think the right thing to do is jump into a 4-year college. I think you kind of get some of your general ed stuff out in the cheapest way possible, and then jump into the kind of like what Chandler's doing.
Yeah, our house is completely agnostic of forcing a plan.
Your path.
If Piper or Xander gets to their end of their high school career and they know, or they have a good vibe on where they want to go, and if that means 4-year college, right out the gate, we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen within moral.
No, I think
moral purity.
You'll pay.
But if it's not, and it's career based, and it's something that's just get right into the workforce because that's the industry that they're going, they're fully supported that way too.
Sure.
So, yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna streak the quad because Chandler wants to go to Sac State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done, baby.
We're streaking the quad.
Yeah.
They don't do that
and it
anymore.
wasn't, I think, a year and change out after bombing out of Chico, I started taking courses because Venus was still taking courses at JC's. I took a couple courses at Sierra, like it was like an algebra class and something else, a psychology class. Just because I'm like, well, I don't mind being here. I'll take something that interests me.
And it was inexpensive, and you weren't like really burying yourself.
And then I took a couple courses up at Butte Junior College, up at Chico, just outside Orville, or outside Chico, Paradise. Sucks.
Oh,
Hope it's still there. Anyway, took a human anatomy course. Man, loved every second of it.
yeah.
But hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, I hated high school. I got into college. It was kind of like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, we go down to Fullerton to drop the daughter off at school, and it's kind of like, this is cool. I wish I could not work and go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Knowing what I know now.
Absolutely.
Oh my
I'm in that
gosh.
boat too. I'd be like, if I didn't have to work,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I would go
Absolutely.
all kinds of routes.
There's scholarships for sad dads because shit.
Yeah.
Hand
Sign
me
me up.
over. Yeah. Damn. Anyway.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time there, Foo?
Hour 6.
Oh, shitballs. We are.
Crushed
Did a
it.
time warp just come,
I think,
come about? 'Cause
Data's just woke up and was like, what?
What? I
I
still
would- I
have
would've-
all my
I-
teeth.
I
I
hope,
would have.
I hope those cameras are still running.
I would have guessed we were like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We had 30 on the weekend.
That's why
and
you're
we
wrong.
Rip through USC college indictments.
All right. Well, if you got thoughts on the whole
Yeah.
indictment, let us know. We would love to hear your feedback. But I think we're gonna pack her up for tonight.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
show. Good
Yeah.
show.
Kick ass, motherfuckers.
All right.
If anybody has a spare tooth. let me know.
I don't think it works that way.
Oh, fuck.
Doesn't
Unless
doesn't
from
a,
a cadaver?
doesn't a spare tooth come like on the inside of your pants? You know
I
what I'm
hope
talking-
not.
Like you know how they have pants and stuff with the extra button in case you pop a button off.
Oh,
or
like for
shorts
where
or
your
whatever.
pocket watch goes?
It's like a
Yeah.
retry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well, I'm just going to
Okay.
reach in here and get my other incisor. Oh, fuck it. I'm fixed.
Fuck you, dentist.
God damn.
What you didn't know is that I had a goddamn back.
I was going to pay my deductible, but I found a tooth in my swap pocket. Fuck yeah. All right. You're gonna call
You don't
it
have
a-
to say anything, David. It's all good.
All right.
It's fine, I'll die anyways.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Mhm.